I have a phony witch hunt, which is just a phony pile of stuff.
The Russian military launched a concerted attack on our political system.
Mueller comes out, there's no collusion.
There was insufficient evidence to charge a broader conspiracy.
Oh, are you trying to say now that there was collusion, even though he said there is no collusion?
He didn't say there's no collusion.
He said no collusion.
Insufficient evidence to charge.
I don't think that's what he found, but we don't have time for that now. We'll talk about that later.
That is what he found. Excuse me. He found no collusion, and he didn't find anything having to do with obstruction.
Under long-standing department policy, a president cannot be charged with a federal crime
because they made a ruling based on his findings, and they said no obstruction.
If we had confidence that the president clearly did not commit a crime, we would have said so.
Our brilliant friends at Morning Joe put that together with those new comments from the president that make it seem he's probably not read all 448 pages of Mueller's report, despite his claims to the contrary.
Did you read the report?
Yes, I did, and you should read it too.
I read
Come on, let's go. You should read it too.
There's no way he read the report.
What?
Or, I mean, he read it and immediately erased it from his brain because it doesn't compute with his version of reality.
It. Heilman.
I think it kind of doesn't matter. I think he's just staying on that. He's just going to lie in the most gratuitous way possible at every instance. Like this, no obstruction, no collusion is the line. It's been the line from the very beginning. He's never going to waver from it. You could show it to him. You could have whipped out the Mueller report and made him read it in the car, and he would stare at the words on the page and read them and lie.
Yeah.
Just make up new words as he tried to say them.
The most interesting part of the interview for me was when Mick Mulvaney coughed, right?
Yeah.
And Trump said, "Do you want to shoot this over again?" And he just started over again with the same exact line. Now, all politicians stick to talking points, but it is a script. It is a show, and he will perform his part in the show no matter what countervailing evidence is presented to him. So Heilman's exactly right. You could literally have him, you could play Robert Mueller on tape in front of him. He'd say, yeah, he said no obstruction.
One of my favorites was him on Article 2, because I will bring over donuts every day for the rest of his presidency if he can tell me what Article 2 is.
Article 2 allows me to do whatever I want. Article 2 would have allowed me to fire him.
So it sounds
but
like
I wasn't going to fire. You know why? Because I watched Richard Nixon go around firing everybody, and that didn't work out too well.
Anyone. Article 2. There's no way he knows what it's.
I'm sure he overheard some Fox News segment where it was mentioned once. And he's like, I like that.
Yeah.
Well, like Laura Ingram's talking about Article 2. He's like, hey, Barr, I got Article 2, right?
Yeah.
That's mine.
Yeah.
Do you think he knows
that
what
sounds
Article?
Good, right?
Well, I can't speak to his. I can't speak to that. But what I can say, what was interesting, I actually thought, you know what? Here's what we can. I thought it was interesting for him to. Call out Nixon like that. Yeah. I thought,
yeah, what it was,
he doesn't.
Nixon, yeah.
Well, I mean, he showed sort of a modicum of appreciation for historic precedent, for pragmatic political thinking.
He saw that on Fox too.
Well, whatever. It was an interesting.
I had that same reaction.
We'd seen the first movie before. This one was a little bit of a torque, right?
He understood that that there are limits. Like that was a bad idea. That did not go well.
This seems like a post facto rationalization for the fact that he couldn't order the firing himself.
But he did order the firing, and he didn't get away with it. It's why he's now lying about it and contradicting the testimony.
He wasn't studying the history of corrupt administrations, being like, that's where Nixon went wrong.
Correct.
He just screwed it up.
He's just now trying to make sure that he denies that part of the Mueller report. Chris Christie and Corey Lewandowski may be heading up to Capitol Hill to testify for their parts of the Mueller report. Christie had a phone conversation and was interviewed about it by Mueller's investigators about Trump's designs on firing Mueller. Corey Lewandowski was enlisted on one of the runs at getting Sessions to unrecuse and fire Sessions.
They are fact witnesses, and so I think that is a step forward if we can get them to testify in public, where they are cited in the Mueller report as having been part of, as having offered first-person accounts that have built the case, helped to corroborate the case in various instances that the president tried to obstruct justice. So I think it would be good to hear from them both. And I think that both of them recognize, for different reasons and in different ways, the risk that would pose that they would pose to themselves if they were to perjure themselves on Capitol Hill and not testify honestly. So I think it will be helpful and educational. It's not going to get us all the way to what some Democrats want. They're not going to present the open and shut case for impeachment, but they would, I think, be helpful. I think all fact witnesses would be helpful. We need Don McGahn, we need others, but they're a good start.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.